Hi, everybody. This is Mrs. Z coming at you on Thursday, March 19th. My hat today, it's a Pokemon character. I kind of think Eevee, maybe, is the name of this. Not totally sure. Found it in my basement. It's one of my kids. My shirt, the book was better. Don't get me wrong, Mrs. Z loves movies, but I also have a rule. I try to read the book first before I watch the movie because the book is not always better, right? So, hope everybody is doing well. Let's see. Today is Thursday, March 19th. We have no Falcon birthdays today. It is the first day of spring. There's a little bit of debate about that, but at the same time, I think today is the spring equinox. Hey, Mr. Pete.
Yeah.
Can you come over and tell our friends what the deal is about today? Because sometimes Mrs. Z thinks it could be the 20th or the 21st, but I guess it's the 19th. Can you just tell us?
Today is the spring equinox. It's also called the vernal equinox.
Okay.
It's the day where everywhere in the whole world, the daylight will shine for 12 hours, and it'll be dark for 12 hours.
Got it.
The day and night are equal. So equinox, equal.
Oh.
And it's also the first day of spring. So it means that from now on until the summer,
June 20th,
which is about June 20th, the days will get longer and longer. The sun will shine longer. So that's what equinox means.
Hey, thanks so much for the clarification. All right. Today is also National Nurses Day. Our Franklin-Randall community is so lucky to have Nurse Sarah, Nurse Amber, and Nurse Terry take care of us every day. We are so grateful for them. It's also National Let's Laugh Day, so try to have a good laugh today. Maybe it'll be from me wearing this silly hat or something else. So anyway, let's see what else. Before we get started, I wanted to share a story that Bella from Tanya and Ellen's room sent in. She wrote a story with a lot of onomatopoeia. When you listen, see if you can hear those words. This was inspired by our book from yesterday. Remember? Full of love. Okay. Cat, run away. One day there was a weird guy who had a pet dog. A cat walked by the house and said, meow. The weird guy saw the cat and called his dog, Max. This weird cat came by our house. The dog barked, woof. The cat got into the yard and purred, purr. Then the cat heard, kaboom. The cat ran into the house and saw the weird guy making his green soup with his blender. Bzzz. Then the dog got in the house. The weird guy was mad at the cat. He growled, grrr. The cat ran away and found his home. The cat was happy to be home and said, meow. The end. Ooh, Bella, thanks for sharing that story with all those onomatopoeia in it. Let's see. Okay, our news story for today is called The Hello Goodbye Window. This is by Norton Juster and Chris Rashka. It's one of my favorites. Hey, do you see that award? This is the Caldecott Award. Caldecott Awards are for illustrations or pictures. These are some of the most beautiful illustrations. I think you'll really like this book. Okay, Hello Goodbye Window. Ooh, it's falling apart. This is kind of an older book for Mrs. Z. Nana and Poppy lived in a big house in the middle of town. There's a brick path that goes to the back porch, but before you get there, you pass right by the kitchen window. That's the Hello Goodbye Window. It looks like a regular window, but it's not. The kitchen is where Nana and Poppy are most of the time. So you can climb up on the flour barrel and tap on their window, then duck down and they won't know who did it. Or you can press your face up against the window and frighten them. If they're not in the kitchen, you can't really do any of those things and you have to wait until next time. If they see you first, they wave and smile and make silly faces. Sometimes Nana peekaboos me, which always makes me laugh. So I get a lot of extra fun and hellos before I even get inside. It's funny. Just look at their kitchen. It's big and has a table you can color on with lots of drawers to take stuff out and play with, but you can't touch anything under the sink. Those are the cleaning supplies, and they could make you sick. There are shelves full of glass jars with lots of everything in them, a step stool so I can wash my hands, and all kinds of pictures from the olden days. Nana says she even used to give me a bath in my sink when I was really little. I used to do that to my kids. Sometimes Poppy plays the harmonica for me. He can only play one song, Oh Susanna, but he plays it a lot of different ways. He can play it slow or fast, or he can play it sitting down or standing up. He can even play it and drink a glass of water at the same time, but I've never seen him do that. Maybe I'll make my son play you some harmonica one of these days. He's really good at it. Let's see, there's a fun window picture. When I stay over, we have supper in the kitchen too, and when it's dark outside, we can look at our reflections in the window. It works just like a mirror, except it's not in the bathroom, and it looks like we're outside looking in. Poppy says, "Hey, what are you doing out there? You come right in and have your dinner," he jokes. And I say, "But I'm here with you, Poppy." And then he looks at me in his funny way. Just before I go up to bed, Nana turns off all the lights and we stand by the window and we say good night to the stars. See them in the window? Do you know how many stars there are? Neither do I, but she knows them all. There's Mavis in the background. I think she hears a dog out there. In the morning, the first place we go is back to the kitchen, and there's the window waiting for us. You can look out and say good morning to the garden, or see if it's going to rain or be nice. And you can see if the dog next door is doing stuff in Nana's flower beds. She hates that. Sometimes Poppy says in a really loud voice, "Well, hello, world. What do you have for us today?" Nobody ever answers, but he doesn't care. Poppy makes breakfast, and he says it's his specialty. My favorite is oatmeal with bananas and raisins. You can't see them because he hides them way down inside. I find them all. When I get dressed, I help Nana in the garden. It's a very nice garden, but there's a tiger who lives back there in the big bush, so I don't even go near there. What an imagination. Do you think that's a tiger, or do you think that's just a kitty? Yeah, there she is with her grandma, smelling the flowers. I ride my bike, too. Not in the street, please, says Grandma. Or I collect sticks and acorns. Not in the house, please, says Grandma. Or I just kick my ball around. Sometimes when it's hot, Poppy chases me with the hose and I yell, "Stop it, Poppy, stop it!" And when he does stop, I ask him to do it again. Nana just shakes her head. Funny. I'm so glad it's spring and that we'll get to be outside a little more. When I get tired, I come in and take my nap, and nothing happens till I get up. It's true. Naps are super important. There they are. Then sometimes I just sit by the hello goodbye window and I watch. Nana says it's a magic window and anybody can come along when you least expect it. Look at that. I love this picture. Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's extinct, so he doesn't come around very much. Wow, she's using her imagination, isn't she? I love that. Looking out the window and using your imagination. The pizza delivery guy, pepperoni and cheese, he knows that's my favorite. The Queen of England. Nana is English, you know, so the Queen likes to come for tea. They all could come, and a lot more if they want. And if they do, I'll see them first, because I am at the hello goodbye window. When my parents pick me up after work, I'm glad because I know we're going home, but it makes me sad too because I have to leave Nana and Poppy. You can be happy and sad at the same time, you know. It just happens that way sometimes. Mrs. Z really likes that. You can be happy and sad at the same time. Yeah, it's true. When we leave, we always stop at the window to blow kisses. When you look from the outside, Nana and Poppy's house has lots of windows, but there's only one hello goodbye window, and it's right where you need it. Can you see? Oh, I love that book so much, The Hello Goodbye Window. What would you imagine you see out one of your windows today? In your house or your apartment or wherever you are, you can look out the window and make up whatever story you want about what you might see. I'd love to hear that. Mrs. Z made a hello goodbye window for my house too. Mavis is looking out it right now. And I put some things up on the window. I'm going to try to take us outside so you can see, okay? But it's kind of, the lighting is a little tricky when I do this, so we'll try it. So Mrs. Z has been taking walks with Mavis and sometimes my family, and when I do that, and I see friends through the window, we dance with each other and wave just through the window. Silly, huh? So anyway, Mrs. Z thought it would be fun to make our own hello goodbye window at our house. So you can kind of see, let's see if I can get a little closer. I have some pictures of Mr. Plumbean's house that some people sent me. And then up above it says, "You are loved," and the hello goodbye window. You can see across the street, there's some things on the people's house across the street in their hello goodbye window. And if you look closely, who's that puppy in the window? She would run far away if I let her outside. She's not so good at that yet. So friends, how will you spend your day today? What imagination will you use when you're thinking about your hello goodbye window? I miss you all very, very much. Take care.